Remember, we give away a free game to one lucky person each and every week. You don't have to do anything special, just like this person didn't. Look at that comment. Nothing special about that at all, but they won a game. Please send us an email. Nice one. Hello everyone, welcome back to SwitchUp. It's Sunday night, I'm sat in my little room, and I'm recording you a sales video. Well, it's not actually Sunday night, that would be physically impossible. It's Saturday night. No, it's not. It's Friday night. Ish. Make sure you save yourself 10% on your eShop credit and support the channel using code SwitchUp over at switchup.gg. We have a PlayAsia discount as well. I know a load of people use that, but these are by far the best games that I've seen on the eShop sale that's going on at the moment. I have trawled through it, trying not to mention the usual suspects, things like Immortal Phoenix Rising, which actually is on its lowest ever price in the US, and Monster Hunter Rise. But yeah, they're good games, but we do talk, they get talked about a lot, so we need to try and find the ones that don't. So what is on sale? Well, let's find out. First up, we got the sponsor of this video, and we did a dedicated video on this the other day, and it's really good. It's called Speed Crew, which is currently half price in the UK and the Australian regions. Sorry America, it's not on offer in your region, but if you liked games like Overcooked, then you'll really enjoy this. It's got offline and online 1 to 4 player multiplayer. You can probably tell just by the visuals how it plays out. You work together with a team to fix cars as quickly as you can when they enter the pit lanes, and you're racing against other pit crews, which is shown on a screen in the background. What is a little more unique about this one is that it features a full storyline, and that story spans 4 decades, so you gradually see newer cars, newer tracks, and there are 48 different levels to work through, and trust me, they get ridiculously hard. If you played Overcooked, they do that thing where they split the level in half, or there's something that's moving and you have to run onto one side and then you'll get cut off from the other. It has elements like that here, but it just gets more and more intense. A really good one, and I know there's quite a few DLCs and updates in the works, and they just seem like a really nice dev team, so consider checking that one out. And as I said, thanks for them for sponsoring that segment. That sale goes on until August the 27th. Next up, a new and very addictive roguelike game. It's Barony. Barony? We need to do a video on this, definitely. It needs a full video. It's just a very enjoyable game. I know, so I kind of need to say thanks to one of you in the comments. You kept saying, you need to check out Barony, like it's really good. And I was like, yeah, I haven't got around to it because I've been so busy. But then I had a little go the other day and I was like, oh my goodness, why? Why would you do this to me? It's almost like a first-person, old-school dungeon crawler. There's tons of loot. You'll be scrutinizing the statistics, trying to equip the most powerful things, and it has a very cool sense of humor as well. There are 13 different classes, and they have their own skill systems. But I've never played a game like this in split-screen multiplayer, and it's really good. I'm a big fan of co-op at the best of times, and yeah, my daughter and I are having an absolute blast. Now that one is a 1.09 gigabyte download. It's developed and published by Turning Wheel. That sale, down to £13.49, goes on until August the 27th. If you missed our review of Blasphemous 2, which isn't even out yet, well, you need to go check it out. It is an incredibly good sequel. It improves on almost every aspect of the base game, bar some of the cutscenes. I don't like the new style, it's too polished and slick. I like the old one where it just looked gross. Other than that, everything else is better. You've got 3 different weapons. You can switch between them at any time. Those weapons have Metroidvania aspects in that they help you unlock different areas of the game. The combat's brilliant. The platforming's far better than it was in the first. It has a 10% discount until August the 23rd when it launches. And look, if you know you're going to pick it up anyway, make sure you don't miss that 10% discount. And if you want to check out the review, I will pop a link to that in the description. That's Blasphemous 2 from the Game Kitchen and published by Team 17. Darksiders 3 is a very good game, but it does annoy me. It annoys me because it should have had a patch. It hasn't had any patches at all. Performance isn't appalling, but there are a few places where it does drop right down. It moves more towards a Souls-like in some of those aspects. So if you enjoy Souls games and you've not played Darksiders 3, it's certainly not as action heavy as the first or as Zelda-like as the second. And in its defense, it does include 2 entire DLC packs, the Crucible and the Keepers of the Void, which add in a nice chunky bit of content. Yeah, it is worth it. It's just performance, drag the score down. You can usually find it on sale as well if you're a physical collector. I think it's like 14 quid over at Amazon. That's THQ Nordic and developed by Gunfire Games. A 7.4 gigabyte download, but you haven't got long. That sale ends on August the 21st. I've been enjoying a bit of a first-person shooter renaissance recently, and I'd say maybe consoles in general have been enjoying a renaissance in that area, and Proteus hits the nail on the head. It's a great game. Not only has it got single player, it does have online for up to 16 players as well. It's down 30% at the moment in the EU regions, and it has that halfway house art style between the old and the new. Lots of 3D lighting effects that definitely couldn't have been done back in the day. It's brutal, loads of blood and guts and gore, and some great boss encounters in there as well. But I think the icing on the cake is the audio. It has a cracking soundtrack. That sale for Proteus goes on until August the 27th. 20th is 30% off. Published by Humble Games and developed by Bounding Box Software. Talk about going under the radar, then we've got Warhammer 40,000, Shooters, Blood and Teeth. The way it's written is literally how it's supposed to be said. This one has its biggest ever discount, down 33% to £10.99. It's a side-scrolling shooter along the same lines as Metal Slug. It's another one that if you can get a pal to join you, it's quality. It has 1 to 4 player local and 1 to 4 player online co-op. You do play as the orcs, so you get to play as the bad guys, which is always a nice little twist. There've been a few games, haven't there, where you get to be the bad guy. It's an underused, I don't even know what you'd call it, Dungeon Keeper. Were you the bad guy in that? What other games have you as the bad guy? Can't remember. Anyway, this is published and developed by Rogueside. It's just 2.2 gigabytes, and as I said, the sale goes on until August the 27th. Currently, you can buy a Wargroove at 60% off, or you can buy a Wargroove the Double Trouble bundle that has the DLC at exactly the same price. Who thinks of these things, honestly? Takes it down to £6.39, but I can guarantee you, just scroll down in the comments if you're late to the video. There'll be a few people that will tell you just how damn good this game is. It has a touch of Advance Wars to it, and in my opinion, it's one of publisher Chucklefish's best games on Switch. I think they already announced a sequel to it, didn't they? You get to choose your commander from over 12 different ones. They have their own motivations, backstories, and personalities, and you head out to save the kingdom. Plus, you can actually create your own scenarios and then upload those for your mates to try. Really good, and some of those fights almost play out like puzzles. Yeah, very, very enjoyable game, and I've always got to give respect when a developer fits a game into such a small space. Just 432 megs. That sale for Wargroove, the bundle, goes on until August the 27th. Next up, we have Chasm, which I haven't put much time into, in fairness, but I enjoyed what I played, and then I was watching another channel, SwitchCorner, Alex, who I really enjoy, and he recommended Chasm, and to be honest, a recommendation from him is more than good enough for me. It's just £3.99, that's 75% off. It's an action adventure that features a story set in and around a mining town, where unfortunately all of the townspeople have disappeared. Now, I was in Westfield Shopping Centre the other day, and I would have quite liked for everyone to have disappeared. You know, when it's so busy, and I don't know about you, how is this? I don't know if it's the same in America, but like when you're queuing up for something and people touch you, like in the UK, that's like a no-no. Like, you just don't touch people. But for some reason in Westfield Shopping Centre, man, when you're queuing up, people are like, you like turn around and your nose touches someone else's nose. You're like, what on earth is happening here? I got to get my pink berry and get out of here. Pink berry, by the way, is like frozen yogurt. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, we're talking about games here. Stop distracting me. Chasm, the sale goes on until August the 20th. It's developed and published by BitKid. Nice one, BitKid. Unsighted featured as a hidden gem maybe 6 months ago, I think. But it's nice to see it on another chunky sale. It's been a while, I think, and it's down 50%. This one's developed by Studio Pixel Punk, and it was published by Humble Games. Now, in my experience, Humble Games don't publish terrible games. They just don't. They've got so many hits on Switch. And this one, I'd say, don't be put off by that visual style. I know some people don't like the artwork here, but it is a great game. There's almost I don't want to spoil it, but there's a time element to the whole experience, whereby something is going to happen, and that's kind of playing out throughout the entire game. Then there is co-op as well, so it's another that you can grab a mate and have them join you for the experience. Now, aside from the main game, there are also optional challenge modes. There's a boss rush, there's dungeon raid mode that they added in, and yeah, well worth it. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Anodyne. It felt like Donnie Darko meets Zelda, and I'm all about that. I think Donnie Darko is a massively underrated film, but it's developed by Analgesic Productions, and this guy's got quite a few. They almost have like a cult following behind them. You've got Anodyne 2, which made a few missteps, but kind of took things into the PlayStation era, even The Ocean, and then he recently released Sephony. But Anodyne, the first one, it will take you only around 7 to 9 hours. It's like one of those weekend completion games, but if you like the kind of off-the-wall, slightly unnerving, but not scary experiences, then yeah, you might enjoy this. It's just £1 as well, £1.79 until September the 3rd, and it's only 83 megs. What a joke. You couldn't fit Minesweeper in that anymore. Someone just said, what's Minesweeper? Oh, I feel so old. The hidden gem this week scored in the 90s, I believe, when I reviewed it. I absolutely loved it. I think maybe I was like an outlier. I think it generally scored like 70s and 80s, but you know, some games click with you. And Piku Niku from Devolver Digital and a group of pals, like literally the developers are just like, I think it was like 3 or 4 friends. I just thought it was great. It's got a whole story, but it's done in this really simplistic, low-key art style. And it's one of those that has weird little mini games games thrown in that are totally pointless, but it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? It's a surprisingly well done little adventure. It'll only take you about 4 or 5 hours to finish, and I think I already said it's got co-op as well. It's just 449 megs, and that sale goes on until August 27th, which takes us on to our Savaloy Selection. Now, Jared, who edits the Sunday sales videos, he's very good, and he's probably going to go through the comments, find out all of those rare delicacies that you were telling me about, and post pictures of them up all over the screen, aren't you, Jared? You just, Jared's great. I know that he's sat there right now gritting his teeth. Oh, come on. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? Anyway, first up on the Savaloys, we have Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth, which was mentioned in last week's sales video, but for this price, you need to buy it. It's stupidly cheap, it's excellent, and I think we're seeing these prices, it's almost like, I don't know, like a clear out of a shop, because unfortunately, the developer have had some real issues recently. They're the guys that made Golem, and yeah, we all know how that went. Then you've got Rustler, which is 90% off. It's an old school GTA clone, top-down perspective. Is it the best game ever? No, it's not. That's why it's in the Savaloy Selection. It's a good 70%. It's a good game. It's not amazing. It's a bit of a laugh. It's got some good humor in there. And yeah, we have a full review if you'd rather get a little more detail. And then before we finish, I would like to insert a new section because I can. And it's support an indie. So there's a single developer who has created a game called Bell the Boomerang. But sorry, it's not even called that. I'm so sorry, I've failed to support an indie. It's Bell Boomerang. It's currently just £3.24. He sent us a code. He was so nice. He didn't do all the usual, like, sometimes publishers, they send some really like cheesy stuff. It's like, this game is going to change your life. Like, this guy was just like, do you want to check this out? Like, look, you know, I've worked very hard on it, and I played it. I was like, this is quality. So basically, Bell the Boomerang is like an old school side-scrolling platform action game, and Bell has a load of different abilities. She can obviously throw a boomerang, or that would just be lame for a title, but she can also control, I'm going to say control and not possess, because I believe it's control. She can control certain things, like there's a statue and you can control that, move it around, and then climb onto it and use that to reach different areas. There's this quirky little town in between stages that I thoroughly enjoyed, and the boss fights, they were really well done. It was one of those games, you know, when you're playing and you think the game's broken, but it turns out you need to just figure something out. So it doesn't do a load of hand holding, you genuinely need to figure out some little lateral thinking puzzles, which I enjoyed after switching the game on and off because I thought it was broken. Really nice soundtrack as well. So yeah, consider supporting an indie developer with Bell the Boomerang. That sale goes on until August the 29th, and yeah, I hope someone buys it because well, it'd be a bit embarrassing if I say to him, I've put your game at the end of a video. How many sales have you made? 3. I'll get my code. Alright, so that's it for another week. Thank you so much to everyone that enjoys the content, to our Patreons and our members. I salute you. Hopefully you've seen that the credits at the end of the video are now nice and fancy and they're all up to date. Hopefully, I mean, I might have to add, well, I don't know. Has anyone else joined? Oh, I'm going mad again. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!